All right, good morning. It's Tuesday, kind of like a Monday, July 5th, 2022. It's about 8:26 in the morning. Got our levels marked here, and had my buddy come over the other day on Friday, looked at my system, and good as my system was 6 years ago, it's just not where it needs to be for streaming. So, gonna be looking at a new setup. The monitors are good, just a new tower for some added power. And came down. I had a monitor out, so I had to do some reconfiguring. But, anyways, here's our 15-minute on the left, our 1 minute on the right. I guess there was a shortened session yesterday. Probably assume it was from until about noon. Yeah, I think that's what it was. So let's look at the daily chart here. We drag that into the display. Here's our daily. Looking at price coming down, coming up. And now it looks like we're going to be opening pretty close to like 37.77, which would be down here right at the open from the last 2 days, 2 full session days. All right, well, we'll wait for the bell here, see what develops. Most times on a Monday, I'm never really in too much of a hurry to do anything, to make anything happen. And it's certainly going to be the same for today, being that today is like a Monday. First full day. I wouldn't imagine there could have been much volume yesterday during the trading day. Yeah, it looks like it was minimal. So we will see what the market does here. Pardon me, I'll be right back. And as always, I will denote the first minute of trade with 2 horizontal lines. We just call that the opening range. All right, there we go. So overnight low was right here at 74, and we're just selling off quite a bit. So I'd say certainly this area of 54 is significant. It's where we came down to the other day on Friday, and then just recovered, hung out for a while, then pushed up higher. But for right now, for the morning, we're pretty weak on the open. Pretty weak indeed. We don't really have any. I think we've got some minor news coming out in a little bit, but it's nothing major. Yeah, we've got factory orders at 9 a.m. Nothing to get too excited about, though. So we're going to try to get a feel for what the market is trying to do, and if it's doing a good job. Seems like on a Monday, or even if I'm off, for a 3-day weekend, um, I usually like to just kind of sit back and see what's playing out, try to get a good idea for what the market's trying to tell us. See if we continue down here. I would imagine we would. Hey, Micah, morning. So I remember the 60 area when we had the big run up. We came down to like 54 on Friday. 60 was an important area and then took off from there. But I don't know if it's as important this morning. We'll see. I'm not going to try to predict anything. We're just so early into the trading day. So again, we'll just sit back and wait, let the market set up. Sorry for the background noise. Let's see if we tag 55, 54 here. Alright, so 15-minute just straight down. All right, new 5-minute bar here. So we've got just two big red bars on the 5-minute. Still got another 5 minutes to go until we put in a new 15-minute bar, but obviously, as you can tell, it looks pretty weak. See what they do if they can get it up to 60 here. Again, just sitting back and waiting for 10 minutes in, letting the market set up a bit. And we'll remind ourselves that we can and will have a winning performance every day. I simply define winning as a three-pronged approach, just watching and observing what the market's trying to do, not fearing that I'll miss a move. So the market oftentimes gives us plenty of time to set up and position ourselves and find an entry level that we really like with good risk to reward. And then just simply executing with targets and stop losses in place. All right, there's 60. Let's see if they keep selling that one off. So trying to go back in time to that Friday when we had some good movement. Just looking for some key levels during that session. All right, we've got another 1 minute until we get a new 5-minute bar here. Some strength here by the bulls, it looks like now. So 60, a definite kind of battle zone, I'd say. I'm going to buy some right here and see how far up they can push it. I just scaled out of a little bit. So looking at the 5-minute here. I mentioned 60 kind of being a potential battle zone. Let's see what we do. Here's, it's Excuse me. See if the bulls can push it up now. I certainly don't want to be fighting a trend. If we are just going to continue to trend down, I don't want to be fighting it. It's got another 2 minutes until we get a new 5-minute bar. Let's see how this one ends up. Let's see if we can, if the bulls can push it up higher here. I'm going to sell a little bit more right here. So I'm in 70% of my original position. Kind of a quick move here on my part. All right, I'm in 60% of my position. Yeah, a little aggressive on that one, I'd say. We've got some kind of congestion up in here. So in my mind, I'm wondering if this is where the bulls turn it around, or if this is the bulls, last chance to try to make something happen. Bears come in strong and then just dump it out. Time will tell. Time will tell. And that's, like a classic, the move that I have talked about before. Opening range retest, right? Like we've come here, come up, trying to retest that opening range, and then potentially the bears keep it weak and sell it off. So I'm mindful that that could happen as well. So yeah, pretty decent push up here, then rejection. So here is the battle area, I'd say. I'd say bulls wanted above 60. Bears, I'd say, I don't know, 55. So let's watch and see what develops. So this one was certainly a bit aggressive. If we take out the lows here, I'm gonna dump it and just get out of it. I've got a hard stop just below the low. I feel like the odds don't favor this one working out, but I was glad I lightened up here at 65. I'll watch and see if we just continue down, which it feels likely that we do, like we just push lower. It's a little antsy on that one. That wasn't, I'm not pleased with the entry on that I took. Trying to jump ahead of the market a little bit too much. So I'd say, yeah, bulls want to get it above 37.60 to have any fighting chance of trying to get up to take this out and then that. But as of right now, just reading what the market's doing, it's looking pretty weak. Again, things can change quickly. Market can do an about face. We've got to be mindful of that. Again, my stop here for that remaining 60% that I'm in is just below low of the day, which feels very likely that that gets taken out. Then thinking we may resume downtrend, but we'll see. We'll wait for some more market generated data to make some decisions. Okay, so I'm out of that one. That one's done for me. Yeah, I was trying to fight City Hall on that one, and I knew it. I mean, we came down here, was mentioning that opening range retest, and it looks like some guys or gals or whoever it was got short there, and then see if they can't push it down further. I'll watch and see where this 5-minute ends here. I'm gonna buy some more right here. Got another looks like 1 minute until the 5-minute bar is completed. I'm sorry, another 20 seconds rather. I meant to say a half a minute. Oh boy, I don't like that. Not too pretty. I'm going to buy a little bit more right here. Let's see if bulls can take it above 60 now. All right, I'm in 60% of what I'll allow myself to get into. I'm going to sell just a little bit right here. Watching this 5-minute, it is a little bit wonky here to me. So here's our 5. Still got another 3 minutes until the 5-minute bar is completed. So there's a little bit of indecision or some battles going on back and forth here. So it came up to, bulls got it up to 60, sold it off a little bit. I scaled out of some right here. I have to watch and see what develops. Let's watch and see. Still got another 2 minutes until we get a new 5-minute bar. If we hit 60 again, I don't want to scale out there. I'd rather try to look for 65 or even 70. But want to see this little wick hold here. I do have a hard stop in just below this wick on the 1 minute. All right, let's see if they hold here or if it just continues downward. Trend is down. All right, came up to 60, sold it off again. Looks like I'm about to wrap this thing up right here. I'm out of part of it. So I had one stop get taken out. I'm still in half of the trade, but not looking too good. All right, so half of my position did get stopped out. The other stop I was within inches, but currently I'm in 25% of what I'll allow myself to trade. So not too big of a size here. Trend is down. I mean, looking at our 15-minute, here we are. Take a quick look at NASDAQ here. Well, I'd say the bulls have their work cut out for them. Here's our 5, just kind of pushing lower, 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 lower. Really no, the trend isn't done. We're still just kind of drifting lower. Got another minute and 20 till we get a new 5-minute bar. So bulls first area of contention I'd say would be this 54 level or 55. Then the next one's going to be 60. I've still got a little piece on here, but my stop is just below this low and looks pretty close to just taking me out there. Joey. Appreciate it. Micah said long, 45 half, tight stop, 10 point. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. So I'm out of my trade. This second one helped me out to at least scale it at 60 and then 64. And then I was saying how I just kept like a tight stop for, I had 20% of it on and just got taken out at that level. So in my mind, yeah, battle zone is still between like 54 and 60. Not to say that we can't push up. I know just this morning I haven't read the market that well, so I'd rather just sit back and wait and try to make sense of it. 5 minute looking decent, like it maybe wants to get its act together, but I agree with Micah. Just tight stop and then the 10-point target, since it is against trend. I do prefer, just my style of trading, I do prefer to go against trend. But just for me on this trade, I don't like it as much. And it could be that I'm wrong. I mention all the time that, hey, like, you're not going to catch every single trade. There's going to be some trades that you can read well and you see right off the bat and it's great and it works out. Then there's going to be other times where you just can't see it, or you're not sure, or you just need more market-generated information and to have a good idea of what you'd like to do, of how you'd like to trade it. I just know for me personally, I'm not looking to get long here. And it could be that I missed the move. It could be that in another, I don't know, at some point during the day that we're 20, 30 points higher. That's okay. We've got to remember too that honing this skill, staying patient, honing this skill offers an asymmetrical reward. Just trying to be patient here. Just trying to be patient. Sometimes with trading, you'll know it when you see it, or you'll know it's not it when you see it. Let's see. Bulls wanted above 37.60. That's my opinion. I feel like Bears want it below 37.54. Again, my opinion. So as I mentioned before, watching the charts, to me, especially a day like today where I've got somewhat of a thesis, but it's not super strong. Even right here, market looking kind of weak, but how far do they push it down? If they do, I don't know. I know Micah mentioned that naked point of control pretty good ways lower, another 50 points lower or so. But anyways, I liken watching the markets as so let's say you're going to watch a sketch artist and you walk upon this person who's sketching, and he's been at it a while maybe, and it's just a whole bunch of random lines, none of which makes sense to you. Like what's this guy making? And it takes you a while, and you're watching and you just don't see anything there. But then after a while, at a certain point, who knows when, things just start to click for you. You see, oh, there's some trees. Oh, it's a bird. Oh, I see. Okay, now. And then behind it, there's this landscape. There's a lake in the background and some mountains. That's what he's painting. All right, cool. Or it might be that, the painter's painting a portrait of a city or a car or a face, whatever. There's a point in time where the lines are just random to you. They don't mean anything. And then at some point, they kind of come into alignment and they make sense. And so I think a lot of that you can relate to trading, how there's a point in time, like for me right now, it feels like they might be coming into alignment, but I'm not willing to bet any money on it just yet. So I'm still trying to figure out, like, what is the market painting here? What is the picture that's trying to make? I'm not going to guess that it's a picture of a man's face when in fact it could be a picture of a landscape. At least not put any money on that bet. I don't want to do that. So there comes a point in time, usually, sometimes later, sometimes sooner. Sometimes it might be 5 minutes that you've got to wait until you feel like you can see what the market is trying to depict. Other times it might be hours until you can tell what the market is trying to do. Some days it might be that you just don't have a good idea the whole day. So personally, I watch the market for the first 2 hours of the day, maybe 2.5, and then I'm done. And that's when I'm most fresh. That's when I'm most clear in my head as far as what the market could be doing, what's developing. But I certainly don't want to try to just guess that, this is being painted, so I'm going to put a lot of money on this. I'd rather have a really good idea of why I'm doing what I'm doing. So even this morning, the trades I was in, little bit sloppy, a little bit eager to get going with the day. The second trade kind of saved me and helped me out, and now I'm just sitting back waiting, just hanging out. I'm negative on the day, not too much. But at this point, it's it would have been better maybe to just sit and wait. So I'm looking now and seeing this 60 level, seeing if we can push it lower and take out anything. But in my mind, the risk to reward is such that, the trend is down. I am mindful of that. We're hanging out in this area. So the thoughts that I'm having is, well, maybe we push up higher and then go lower. Maybe we don't. Maybe this is all we get. Maybe I should short here and hold it against this, and we fall. But then how far do we fall, right? It's a lot of if this, then that, if that, then this. So if I'm not getting a clear signal or a clear picture, or if the risk to reward to me just seems like it doesn't line up, it's not making sense, I'm not going to be in too much of a hurry to get involved. Joey Adler, a lot of just trial and error, a lot of good books. I worked with a trader last year who's 20 years in. He's traded professionally for 20 plus years and owned his own software company for trading for quite a long time. And he'd be the first one to say, man, I'm always trying to master new things. I'm always trying to learn and grow and improve. And This is a guy who, he's made his money off of trading the markets for 2 decades now. I'll be the first one to admit that I'm still progressing, still trying to learn and hone my skills and increase the size that I trade. But I feel like I've been getting a better grasp on what it means to be successful and profitable in trading, what it means to have a winning performance. If you haven't heard me before, I do talk a lot about the fact that I can and will have a winning performance every day. I just simply define winning as watching the market without emotion, like just watching and observing, not fearing that I'll miss the move, and then just executing with stops and targets in place. For me, this might be it right here, where might be the spot to short it. I guess you could short it and have your stop above 63. I'm not yet involved, only because we've been hanging out down here so low for so long. Not a ton of conviction. And again, it might mean that we go 20 points lower in the next 10 minutes and I miss the move. That's all right. So to me, this is kind of like a game of chicken, right? Like, who's gonna lay on the gas first? Who's gonna not swerve first, the Bulls or the Bears? $56. I like that, Micah. I think that's like, even now looking at the 1 minute, seeing it kind of curl a bit, seems like we could push up and go a bit higher here. On the 15, we've been hanging out here for a while. So let's see if we can push back up higher. Where's your stop at, Mike? If you're long at 56, where's the market have to go for you to know you're wrong? And what's your target? So yeah, maybe this is the market firming up a bit. Come down, we've hung out here for a while. Maybe it holds that 54 level, and then we go ahead, push up. Be great for the Bulls to get it up into opening range, and then maybe even take that out for the day. 53.5, Micah says, that's his stop. I can dig it. Target 80. So yeah, I'll be the first one to admit that right here, like, it's just a hard one for me to read. And it could be that in another 5 or 10 minutes, it's an easy one to read. We are dependent on the market-generated information that comes our way. All right, let's see if the Bulls can do it here. Five-minute looking decent here. All right, Micah, you're getting close there, man. Okay, 15-minute looking good, 5-minute looking good. Micah's trade is looking great. Well done. Great trade, man. Had a good movement on the 5-minute bar. About a 20-point move. Still got another minute to go on the 5-minute. Seems like the bulls would try to get it to 80. All right, Mr. KVK, K Vinodi Kumar. So bulls try to get it to the top of opening range there. They might still have some fight left in them. I mean, it doesn't mean it. We've got to just do an about face and reverse course. They could still push it up. Got a little bit until the what do we got here? Another minute and a half until we get a new 5-minute bar. So we'll see what the bulls try to do here. It's so important too with the tempo of the day to know. There's some days where it makes sense to have a 40-point target or a 50-point target. Then there's other days where looking at the tempo and the pace of the market, how price is moving, that like on Micah's here, it makes sense to have a 15 or 16-point profit target. So that's something to be mindful of too. Is your target in line with the tempo of the day, the movement and price action of the day? All right, so far looks like couldn't take out initial balance. If we bring this thing down hard, somewhere into here, I'm looking at the 5-minute. I might be looking for a place to get short here. If we can bring it down in here, maybe 57-ish, potentially get short. I'd be wrong above 66. I'm not involved yet. Just hanging tight and watching. I'm looking for a place to get short now. So could that be the big flush up that the Bears needed? Kind of a shakeout, and then they continue to take it lower? Let's see. I'm looking for a little bit of a pop to sell this. Suppose try to take it up. We're right back in that battle zone, which makes me think we could push a bit lower here now. Maybe take out lows of the day. Maybe, I don't know. I'm gonna enter a little bit, just a little bit higher. I got a close. Oh, I'm close. Come on, fill me. Get me filled. There we go. Okay. All right, I'm short right here at 59.5. I'm in 40% of what I'll allow myself to trade. I'd like to see it below, stay below like 65. So if we get a pop up to 65, I'm okay with that. I just don't want to see it like hang out, get way above that, continue on. I don't want to see that. Oh, I'll make that one blue. Teal, whatever it is. All right. I'd like to see some follow throughs pretty soon here. I don't want to wait, I don't want to be waiting on this thing a half hour. I'll give it a little bit of time, see if we can get some follow through. So let me show you what I'm looking at here. Here's our 5-minute. Battle zone was called 54 to 60. Bulls, did their thing. Tried to take it up higher. They couldn't do that. Quickly kind of did an about face there. Came right back down. Now we find ourselves back in this battle zone. Before we pushed higher, I thought, well, maybe I was biased to the downside, to the short side. That didn't happen. Maybe this was just taking out some stops, some weak hands. But now where we're at, I'm short here at 59.5. And at this point, I don't think I'll add any. If we get up to 65, I'll just let it be. And I'd like to see a push through of this level here. See if we can't go down a little bit lower. First, kind of debating my targets here. Whether it be 48 or something else. Pardon me one moment. Sorry about that. Okay, let's see if we can't get some kind of continuation to the downside here. First target, I'd like to see it hit like 48. So once we get, if we can break this 54 level, once we get below that, I'll certainly want to see price stay below 65 then. And even when we came down here and then retested, I was getting short at 59.5. I thought, okay, I'll add some more on that move if we get up to 65. But I don't want to add any more. We'll see how our 5-minute develops here. We've got another 45 seconds till we get a new 5-minute bar. Ideally, we see this thing end low and then give a little bit of a continuation downward. Again, keeping in mind like tempo for the day, the market's just kind of waffling, wavering in this area here. Another 10 seconds. Let's see if we can push it through a little bit more and get a payday here. Looking for 48, first target. And again, I'll be the first to admit that I haven't read the market great today. So if this is one that doesn't shape up soon, I'll probably pull the plug on it and become uninvolved. So even here, I'm not too excited about it. Was looking for a break a little bit quicker, but it's just a slow tempoed, slow paced market. I'm going to tighten up my stops a little bit. All right, so that's not great. I'm not liking that price action too much. Let's see if we can push it down here now. This will be my last chance that I give it. See if we can get a little bit lower. Looking for 50 to 48. Gonna move my stops down a bit now. All right, so right now I've got my stop. Where are we at here? Just above 60, just above this level. Looking for it to cream lower. I might even lighten this thing right here a little bit, just because it's not doing great. I'm going to get out a little bit right here, 25% of it. So I got out of a little bit. I've got the rest of this stop just right here at 61. If it gets above that, I don't want it. I'm going to scale out of a little bit more. See if I can trail it right here. All right, I'm just in half of the position. Primary stop now just right at 61. So made a little bit on this one, but not much. And like I said, I'll be the first to admit that today it's just been a little difficult for me to read, so I don't want to be all in and trying to make something happen if I'm just not seeing what I think should happen. Got to remain flexible. Can't be too rigid. All right, almost 10 o'clock. Let's see if it's kind of like another curl here on the 1 minute where come down, it kind of curled up and then ran up, and we'll see now if we get above 60 and push it up again, or if we come up to this level and fail. And it may be that I don't know, maybe the bulls take it up to 65 and then it sells off. I'm not sure. All right, let's see now. This is it. Just bought some there at 50 half. Okay, the portion that I'm in now, I'm going to have my trailing stop at 59. So it'll be just below break even. All right, I'm out of a little bit more at 48. So I mentioned that 50 to 48 was kind of my first target on this. And certainly we'll have the rest of it now against that 59 level. And I don't know, we'll see what we do. Okay, so this one's working out good so far. Certainly did get shaken out a little bit in this area, as I was admitting that just been a little bit more difficult for me to read the market today or have any kind of strong conviction one way or the other. Got short here at 59.5. I wanted to see it kind of do its thing a little bit quicker. So scaled out of some here at 54.5, and then a little bit more at 58. And then at that point was good on the trade, had my break even, well, I had the rest of the stop here above 61, and just recently took some off at 48, and we'll look and see if we, what we do. But I know that if it gets above 59, then I'm out of the small little piece that I'm still in. I wonder, Tech T, if you're watching, have you taken any trades today? This, I wonder, let's see if I can guess his style. I would think maybe he got long in here, and if not, maybe a short down here once we kind of came in and reclaimed that area. Maybe he got short there, but I could be wrong. Short of the 1 minute. I didn't know you watched the 1 minute, Tech. I thought 3 minute was the lowest you go. Well, would it be potentially a day like today where there's just not near as much movement, so you kind of drill down into a smaller time frame? Oh, K Vinod Kumar. I don't know how to say your name correctly, so hopefully I'm saying it okay. Oh, I see, Tech. Yeah, I agree. Harder to read the market on a higher time frame. I agree. All right, so I'm still holding. Let's see if we can break it for today. Break the low and then go down. Okay, so how about, let's see, K Vinod Kumar. Is it cool if I just call you Kumar? Does that work? Or K? K man? KK? He says target 37.25. That's what he says. So yeah, let's see if bears just resume trend. Well, I hope you guys aren't experiencing too much buffering. I had my buddy that I've been talking about last week come over and look at my stuff, and good as my computer was 6 years ago, it was, state of the art. He's like, dude, just for streaming and YouTube Live and all that stuff, you're just going to need a beefier, stronger system. So that's what I'll be looking into doing here pretty soon, and see if we can have some better streaming quality. So, since you guys asked, well, I'm liking that 48 scale out I had originally. We'll see if the bears keep it below 60. Let's see. But yeah, certainly for me, it's just been a harder one to trade. Little indecisive. Bears. I'm looking at the daily here, thinking, well, the bears just might, and maybe they give it up today. I'm sorry. Maybe the bulls give it up today, and we just press lower. But that's trading. You just not sure. If this, then that. If that, then this. So bulls certainly trying to defend this area, and we just got to see who wins. Like, who wants it more? If the bulls can get it up above and try to press above 37.80, or if they just fall over, give up, and then the bears do take us lower. Yeah, I like, 25, I think, like, is the open here. So I feel like if we do go lower, that's got potential to do that for sure. Micah mentioned, I think, 37.10, point of control, naked point of control. So we've got our open here, kind of the wick high here, open here on the green candle, pretty close to that 37.10 level, naked point of control. Yeah, these levels are all good. Now, whether we do it today or some other day, right now tempo is just kind of slow, kind of muted, just hanging out, not doing a whole bunch. See what the market wants to give us, and I'm going to wrap up here pretty soon, actually. Gonna wrap it up. Oh God! Oh, I didn't know that, Tech, that you always have the 1 minute open on Ninja, and the other one's on Toss. KBK, that works. Thanks, Kumar. Yeah, it's weird, George, with this system. I know my internet connection's good. We tested that. I'm wanting still better internet, faster service, although it's not bad. But it's weird how some days there'll be buffering and slowness and other days not. But it still might be time for me to treat myself, get a new system. Again, mine is a bit older, and it was great 5-6 years ago. And it's still totally fine for trading. It's the streaming, I think, that if I'm doing this and if we've got a community of people here, I'd like to have it where the quality's good, where I'm not having to worry about buffering and all that junk. So we'll see. Oh man. So yeah, the question for me is like, what's worth holding and what is worth not holding as far as a runner. So I'm still short from above, trying to hold on to it and see if the bulls don't roll over and just let the bears push it lower. That would be nice. I'd be pleased with that. Ideally, for it to show weakness for me, I think pretty soon we'd have to get below like 37.47 and then just hold and continue pushing lower. So we'll see. What else? I'm going to wrap up soon. We'll remember, too, that honing this skill offers asymmetrical rewards. The rewards are asymmetrical, right? So many other trades and professions, no matter how good you are, there's a ceiling. Or, to go from earning a certain amount to a certain amount more, unless you're like a professional world-class athlete or something like that, the ceiling is pretty darn high. But with trading, to learn this skill, and really I think to learn how to master yourself. If you can master yourself, you're honing a skill that offers asymmetrical rewards, in my opinion. So the question becomes, how then do we do that? How do we master ourselves? How can we make decisions that are in our own best interests? I think it starts with just having a clear expectation, knowing in fact that the market can do anything and it will do something. So anything can happen and something will happen. And knowing too that I talk a lot. So I was talking to Tech T over the weekend, and I talk a lot about the fact that anything can happen, something will happen. We have to protect ourselves for the unknown. We have to expect the unexpected, is what he said, and I thought, that's really good, to expect the unexpected. And so much in my trading, I focus on the unexpected as the protecting against loss, the protecting of like a bad black swan movement. So yeah, I think I gotta have my stops in place and all that. But after talking to him, I thought, it would be cool to like flip that on its head too. And not that we shouldn't protect against bad things happening, but we should expect the unexpected also on the good side of trading. So, there's those trades that we take and we've all been in them where it's like, oh, all right, I got 15 points. That's awesome. I just nailed it. And later in the day, the market's, plus another 90 points in that direction that you were going. You think, oh, man, that would have been nice to be involved in some of that. Maybe not in your whole position, but would have liked to have some skin in the game for that move. And so I think a good question to ask is, how can we better prepare ourselves mentally and hone our skills in such a way that we're prepared for the unexpected, whether the unexpected is a positive thing or a negative thing. And too often I think I've thought of the unexpected as protecting myself from negative. But there's days too with the market where you're looking at it thinking, oh, okay, it's moving around, and a half hour later S&P is maybe 50 points higher, and you think, wow, that was quite a move that we had. Or I remember, I think it was last week. Was it last week or the week before? One of those weeks. It was the 28th, so whatever day that was, the big down day that we had. A lot of you guys were reading the market well. The market had come down early in the session. It was already down 50 points, still looking weak. I mean, anyone can see that it's just looking weak, looking like it has nowhere to go. And some of you guys got involved with the short side, and the market ended up, puking out and going down another 70 points, 75 points from an area that already seemed pretty low. I think that goes to, it's important to realize that the good unexpected can happen as well. Looking for IB to hold. Yeah, it's slow enough where it seems like it could. Micah says he's trying one more time, long at 46. Hey, we'll see you, KVK. Happy trading to you too. A-Dog. RKLY. That's cool. I don't know what RKLY is, but if it's moving and you're trading it and you're making money, then good deal. Looking for IB to hold. 10-17. Yeah, she's just, it's kind of boring today. To me, at least, it's so neat how the market is so dynamic and diverse, and where one guy sees an opportunity for a short, another guy sees an opportunity for a long. So today hasn't been just a great day for me. The third trade here helped me out a bit. But I'm sure there's guys who are just killing it today. This is just their day. Just what they like to see. So that last little piece that I got on was trying to hold it to see if we could take out the lows of the day. I've got it right here at 59, just against this note here. And not feeling great about that, but hey, today's a day where not feeling great about the read of the market overall in general. Just a tricky one to trade for me personally. So we'll give it a little space, see if it wants to do anything. And Micah's long at 46. I would think maybe his first target's 60. then maybe 65, then up from there. We could get strong and push higher. Good to be mindful that anything can happen, right? It's important to hold your biases loosely. It's good to have a thesis, to let something develop and have a hypothesis of what could happen, but then be willing to make adjustments. Be willing to not be too rigid. $61.5. Gotcha, Micah. Roger. Roger. So relatively speaking, pretty tight little range here. I mean, compared to what we've done the last, few weeks or even months. We do have this little pop up here where we popped up, almost got it to 80, but for the most part, a lot of our trade has been spent right between 54 and call it like 65. Hey, we'll see you, George. Have a good run. I'm about to bounce out of here too. We'll be back and do it again tomorrow. We'll pull up NASDAQ real quick, see what it's doing. Oh, that's still MES. Well, here's our NASDAQ daily. That doesn't really show you much. So we'll leave S&P right there. All right, is that all that the bulls are going to do? Let's see. Let's see, that's the best they got. I'm wondering if that's all the bulls got. Got another 2.5 minutes until we get a new 5-minute bar. Bulls could be like, no, we're actually just getting going here. Just getting warmed up. I feel like bears want it below 48. All right, let's see if we can push lower here and then get a continuation of the trend of the downside. All right, we've got a half a minute till we get a new 5-minute bar. I feel like this will give us some importance where this 5-minute bar closes here. See where they close it out. Hard one to read, just back and forth, back and forth. Not a bunch of clear direction. Could go any way, in my opinion, you know. Could be that they hold it at 48, that's it, and they push it up higher. Could be that they keep it below this 57, 58, and push it lower. Time will tell, won't it? Or it could be that we just stay right in this tight little range for another hour, 2 hours. Anything can happen and something will happen. All right, so here's our 1 minute. Just expanded that a little bit. Early part of the day was here. Let me get rid of this guy now. Let's remove that. Okay. All right, let's see if the Bulls get their way. Let's see if they get their way. Wonder if that's it on the 1 minute. That little pop up. See if we push lower now. I'm not like re-entering or re-engaging there. Just wondering, just thinking out loud. And that last little piece I'm holding, just to reiterate, it is here just below my break even, 59. But on the 5 minute, looks like we're potentially firming up a little bit. Maybe the bulls try to give it a run here, push it up higher. Flip a coin, what do you like? So holding this 48 level. Another 20 seconds till we get a new 5 minute. We'll see where this guy closes. Here's our 5 minute chart just dragged into the screen right here. Got our 1 minute next to it. I'm going to sell a tiny bit more here. I'm wrong above, say 57. It's not a lot. It's just a small amount. Thinking that if my conviction is correct, then I want to have a little bit more that I'm involved with to the downside to try to scale out. So we'll see if we can't get it. Again, very, very small amount. I'm just in 20% of what I'll allow myself to trade. This, I think, will be my last trade for the day. Let's see if they defend the 60 well. Still got 2 minutes, so we need a new 5 minute bar. 5 minute looking pretty strong. All right, that small little piece I put on, I've got a tiny bit of that remaining, but I did get stopped out on the majority of it. So my stop is pretty close here. See if the bears keep it under 60 or what they do at that level. Where we go from there. See if they defend it. I just got involved, so I got taken out of. I was in 20% of what I'll allow myself to trade. I'm just in 10%. I'm still short. Still short, seeing if this thing can fail or what's going to happen here. Let's see where this 5-minute bar closes. Well, Micah, so far that IB is holding, man, isn't it? Initial balance is holding. Well, a day like today, I'm glad I'm in just small, not risking a whole bunch. Trying to make a little something, but if it doesn't work out, not gonna throw anything off kilter too bad as well. All right, back below 54. Let's see if this is the Bulls' turn to do it. I'm sorry, the Bears' turn. Pardon me. I just added a little bit more there. At this point, I'm wrong above, we'll call it that 59.5 level. That's where I was talking about earlier. Either 59.5 or 61.5. I'm in 20% of what I'll allow myself to trade, so not a whole bunch. Anyone else got any trades or taking anything you're seeing? Told you to stop picking. Hey, L10. You stop picking on my Bulls, says Micah. Hey, man, maybe that IB holds. Maybe it does. Let's see here. Yeah, and again, that's why I'm in 20% of what I'll allow myself to get into. Well, glad you're enjoying it, L10. EL10. Yeah, tech. So I'm leaning against. I think a lot of guys, and Mike, I'm sorry, but I think a lot of guys are thinking the IB holds that initial balance. Looking at the 5-minute, to me, it seems weak. Seems like we could push lower, but again, how much lower? Like, do we Do we come down to 48 and that's it? We just, do an about face again and then get up to here? Or do we push lower with any kind of significance? It is a hard one for sure. Very hard to read. I know at this level where I'm at, I don't want it above this 59 area now. Looking at the 5 minute, wanting to see some kind of continuation. Was hoping to get that down here, but we've just come and hung out, and we're strong now. And Micah, you're good at picking levels, and so I'm a little bit biased to the short side at this point, but I'll be the first one to say that my bias needs to get thrown out the window as soon as price action isn't confirming what I think will develop and happen. So, and that's why I'm in a very small amount. Yeah, what is the market trying to do, and is it doing a good job? It's like, dude, I have no idea. I don't even know if the market knows what it's trying to do. Is it doing a good job? Well, if I don't have a clue what it's trying to do, then I shouldn't be the one to say if it's doing a good job or not. Looking for some kind of clue or nuance, like some kind of a big wick on one of these minute or 5 minute time frames, but just not getting it. Even though I'm in small, I feel like, maybe I shouldn't even be involved here. It's just kind of tricky to read. 5 minute really not showing much. Just back and forth, back and forth. Bulls wanted above that 37.60, or at least 37.54. On this one, I moved my stop to this area right here, this 61.5. That'll be it for me today. That's going to be it. Micah, looks like you got a payday there, man. Well done, dude. Well done. All right, I'm out of that little one. I'm done. That's all she wrote. Hey, Micah, way to hold on. Way to get that 61.5. So it looks like the IB for now, it does hold. It did hold. I did have 65 marked here earlier. Watch and see what it does around there. So down, all the way down, up, down, up. So here's that 68 where Tech T got short earlier, and 70. Five-minute looking pretty strong. I mean, it's just going up, up, and up. Initial balance held. Micah, good job. Good job reading that one. Way to stick with it. I think he's out at the gym. That's all right. Well, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up for me. That's it. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, that you trade with discipline and patience. You know where your stops are at, know where your targets are at. Have a good idea of what you're trying to do. And yeah, it's a Tuesday, kind of like a Monday, but I'll be back tomorrow morning. We'll do it all again. So have a good evening. Have a good 5th of July, and